to worry about, maybe the little things, and he can just really trust himself and rip the ball.
Xavier, coming up against a Missouri team that's probably playing its biggest game in nearly a decade, just how do you match maybe the motivation that they will bring into the games? A team that's been in the playoff, big games in the past few years. How do you match them? How motivated they'll be for Friday's game?
Yeah, I think it's important not to minimize the game, but I think that you do that by having the right guys in the locker room, and having these guys who are going to appreciate the game, not just because it's against or it's in the CFP or whatnot, but just appreciate the game because we love the game. So to match the motivation, I think that if you have to motivate somebody to go out there and play on the national stage, you got the wrong guy. So I think that we are blessed to have, and Coach Day did a great job, and all the recruiting coaches do a great job of bringing in men who love the game and who appreciate the game and who aren't going to minimize another opportunity, because you never know when it's going to be your last. So I think just allowing that, along with the fact that there's just people like myself, like Cade, and different people who pour so much into the program, pour so much into people individually, and kind of allowing or acknowledging the fact that it's our last game, and kind of trying to send us out on the right note. I think that Coach Day's done a great job of kind of driving those couple points home.
So, do you think a misconception that maybe Ohio State players do care less than Missouri did? Yeah,
I definitely think it's a misconception. I think a lot of people. There's kind of there's kind of a stereotype at Ohio State, of kind of some divas in a way, and I think that when you see the way we approach the game, when you see the way that we play the game, if you really look at how we play for each other, that narrative isn't necessarily true. So I think that when it comes to this game specifically, you're going to see a whole bunch of hungry young men, hungry brothers who are coming out trying to put a stamp on the 2023 season. And we pour so much into it, we sacrifice so much, and it's only right that we go out there and give it our best and give it our all to finish off this season.
Actually, if people knew your story, do you think they'd still call you a diva?
Sure.
How much have you thought about this being your last game at Ohio State?
I've thought about it a lot, and different moments. It just hits me like this will be my last Thursday practice, or my last practice at the Woody as a player, like my last time entering the Woody as a player. Different things like that hit me randomly, and so. It is kind of surreal. I've been here for 6 years. I've become accustomed to the way we do things at Ohio State. That's been my regiment. That's been my routine for 6 years now. And so just kind of knowing that this is my last time and trying to truly cherish things. I struggle stopping to smell the roses at times in my life. So I've been very intentional in trying to do so kind of with this game.
That last practice at the Woody, did you take a look around?
Yes, took a look around, took it all in, and really was just grateful to be a part of a great university like Ohio State. Grateful to be a part of something that is not a lot of places, and that's the building all the way down to the custodians. It's just a different place. Woody Hayes said, you win with people, and I think that Ohio State has taken that and ran with it. Great people all throughout the building. So just to be amongst them. And to learn from them, to love on them, to try to pour back into people coming behind me. It's been an honor and a privilege. So.
And then the last thing for me, what's Devin Brown like off the field?
Devin Brown off the field, he's a very personable guy. Someone who you want to talk to, someone you want to be around. I think you need that, and somebody who you can really trust. I've had a relationship with Devin off the field. It's not just something where he's just the person throwing me the ball and on sitting in the locker room somewhere. We have a relationship off the field. So I think that really helps the transition and trust factor even all the more.
Thank you.
Xavier, Marvin's doesn't seem like he's going to play. Not quoting you whether it's going to happen or not, but who are the guys that have kind of stepped up without him and Fleming during this preparation, I guess?
I think you just see everybody preparing for the game in a way that is pro-like. I think that anybody who gets a chance, anybody who gets his opportunity, they have put their best foot forward and been I think the way to describe it is in pros in the situation. So I think that we're excited to put an outfit out there, and we're going to go out there. We're going to play our best ball. That's what you're supposed to do in December, and that's what we're going to do.
Is this the time for guys like Tate and Ennis and even Jaden Ballard to get some opportunities, or what do you think?
And so in both seasons, the way we do it, at least at Ohio State, the young guys kind of get opportunity, and it's a way for them to prepare themselves prepare and propel themselves into next season. And so, just having that and having them have more opportunity within practices and stuff like that. I think that the coaches do a great job of preparing them in that way. And so, as they navigate and as they do so, make plays, and see exactly all that they can do. I think that we're gonna looking forward to next season and seeing just exactly how their careers take off in the way that they navigate them.
I don't have anything to ask you. Just thank you. You've always been good to deal with.
Appreciate it.
Good answers, thoughtful answers. So hopefully you see the combine.
It played reasonably good ball.
Appreciate that.
This is what I want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I got, when I do this DVR review, and I did the Michigan play, it got like 3 million views, something insane. Did you get the first half?
Yes, 100%. I know I got it on the field. I think if you watch the play, you'll see me look at Coach Day and be kind of like, I was kind of taken aback when I saw the punt team come off the field. 'Cause I think I got it by at least a half a yard. And so. Yeah, that was an interesting thing, but of course, all on the field, everything feels kind of different. It feels like sometimes you don't necessarily see exactly the leverage that the DB was playing. You misperceive that or something like that. So I was like, maybe I was tripping, but then I went back and watched the film myself, and I'm confident I got the first.
All I could see was a TV film.
Yeah.
And you can't see whether your elbow might have touched on the side. Didn't touch.
Nothing touched. Because there was I was intentional with extending, and so my knee was the first thing to touch, but it touched after I rolled over the dude. So.
We were hoping they would challenge or
Coach Day's a genius. He's a football genius, and he's very good at what he does. So I never really questioned that. And so I'm just out there, trying to do my best, do my part, help him not win.
I talked to Denzel yesterday. He's saying he was blatantly. I stripped the ball from him.
Yeah.
And so that's that play, and your play. That is their first half. They don't get the attention they might get if they were in the fourth quarter. But they're pivotal plays.
Right. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, of course I'm biased because I was a ball carrier. In my opinion, I think I got the first down, and I'm pretty confident. But there were a couple people who said the same on the sideline too. So.
X, ask you to do something you hate doing. Talk about yourself. Yesterday, Josh Proctor said the 3 toughest receivers he's had trouble with in practice were Jackson, Terry, and C.J. Saunders. Is that believable to you?
Yes. Yeah, I think they have I can see the qualities that make them tough to guard.
Do you put yourself in that category?
You go with videos of all the guys.
You're allowed to be I'm not.
I don't necessarily
start uploading.
No, because I've never guarded myself.
And then you and Proc, you went 2 people who have seen this entire wide receiver.
Put it in YouTube or no?
No, just keep it.
You are one of the leaders of this entire run.
Okay, so you want to plug it into your computer.
Be in a category of that leadership with Terry and Harris and those guys that you I'm sure looked up to when you were just walking. What does that mean when I say hey, the leaders of this run have been not the Marvins and the Jacksons, but the Chris's and the Terrys? What does that mean to you to be in that kind of leadership category?
It's an honor. I definitely think that that's a surreal thing to say. They put my name amongst them, play with them, and my brothers. Still, when we see each other, it's love. And it's good chops, good conversations. We have our lives and everything. And so to see just the excellence that the room has continued to keep up, I think that is a testament to Coach Hart, it's a testament to Coach Day, and it's just an honor. And so I learned from them that you pour into people, and the way you pour into people is the way that the next generation is going to be, and it's the way of the level of excellence that the next generation is going to have. So my goal is just to do that, whether it's through teaching them a play or just loving on them and showing them the love of Christ. Either one of those, I think that those two things go hand in hand really when you want an excellent culture in a room, and so I've tried to do that.
Three best, again, you've been here for the whole thing, three best practice receivers, and the three best game receivers that have come through since you've been here.
Practice receivers. Three best practice receivers, I would say Garrett was crazy. He did some crazy stuff in practice. X done some crazy stuff in practice. And of course Marvin's done some crazy stuff in practice too. And I think that game receivers, probably Marvin, Garrett, probably Jackson did Rose Bowl, which you can't beat top Jackson Rose Bowl.
Chris like barely missing that cut.
Yes, of course. Of course. That's my dog. And so, especially game receivers and the accolades that he has. I think he holds the most touchdowns as a receiver, as a Ohio State receiver. So you can't knock him for scoring the most touchdowns.
You've gone through a lot of quarterbacks here that have made their first start. How is Devin compared to these other quarterbacks that you've seen go through their first start in terms of his preparation for the game?
I think that you see Devin prepare as a pro, and it's my first time having a quarterback change in the middle of the season. But I think that one thing that I've noticed is the fact that when you take over the runs of another quarterback, you can't emulate that quarterback. You find yourself trying to emulate him or trying to impersonate him. You find yourself, not playing in your own right, and what got you to Ohio State. I think Devin's done a great job of making the position his own in a quick manner. And because he's done that so quickly, I think you've seen him take strides day in and day out. And so you just acknowledge the growth that he's had from the first practice at the Woody to now. He looks like a completely different player, and I think that comes with confidence. It comes with the leadership that he was already showing, even as a second string quarterback. And so I'm excited to see what he does on Friday.
How much difference do you think it made that decision was made early in this process, and you knew right away from basically right after the Michigan game he was going to be the guy?
I think that it was good. It was good from the standpoint of we get to familiarize ourselves as receivers with Devin as a quarterback. His cadence is different, the way he makes his calls, everything is just a little different. So just familiarizing ourselves a little bit with that was good. I think you have pros and you have people who prepare week in and week out as if they're going to be starters, as if they're going to be the player. I think that whenever that transition was to happen, Devin would have stepped in and been ready to play.
Could be more opportunity Friday night for Carnell Tate. I know Ohio State receivers have kind of jumped on the stage in these bowl games before. What have you seen out of him this past month? What impresses you about Carnell?
I would say the thing that impressed me about Carnell is just the way he approaches the game, his knowledge of the game, his understanding of defenses, understanding of plays, and an ability to recollect, different coaching points and transfer that to the field. As a pro, that's a big mark, and someone who's ready for the big stage. He does that well. He does that with the best of them. So his ability to do all those things, as well as his playmaking ability, puts him in a special category to be a very special player. And that, along with his hard work, his tenacity, I think it's a testament to his family and those who raised him, who poured into him, and I think that he's going to have a great career.